We're going on a Midwestern road trip on the St. Louis Beltway. Come on, let's go. Alright everyone, today we're going to be doing the St. Louis Beltway here in St. Louis. The reason I'm doing this highway is because the first ever UFL Championship is going to be held here in St. Louis. Now at the time of this recording, I don't know who's going to be in the championship. Well, whichever two teams make it, I hope the better one wins. So let's get started with this St. Louis Beltway. It's going to be a very fun video. But first, you're watching the TheDerpHog, where I make highways content on all sorts of different topics. If you've been enjoying it, be sure to hit that like button. And if you've been really enjoying it, be sure to smash that subscribe button so you're notified on all future videos. And if you really want to help out the channel, become a member today, where you get custom cool emojis, early access to future videos, along with one free extra request per month. And if you don't want to become a member, you can always just pay $3 for a intersection request in future videos. Those highways will be listed down in the description below, and I'll make sure to shout you out when that video releases. So let's get on with the highway. As you can see here, this is a map of the St. Louis area, and the Beltway consists of both Interstate 255 and 270. So with that, we're going to be going clockwise around the city. So we begin here at Interstate 55, where it's signed north for St. Louis, because we haven't made it into the city yet. And then 270 is signed west for Kansas City, while 255 is signed east for Chicago, which are great choices. Honestly, within the St. Louis area, everything gets good choices. I don't know why Missouri doesn't keep it up with it out of St. Louis. And our first exit on the St. Louis Beltway is exit 2 for Missouri Route 21. And then we get our typical exit mileage sign here in St. Louis, with Interstate 44 and Watson Road being the furthest at 4 3/4 of a mile. And then this is, I believe, at exit 2. Apparently, MoDOT likes to tell us that there are colleges at exits. And it looks like this one fell off. So we don't know what college is at exit 2. Can you please tell us? It looks like it was for Lindenwood University. And then shortly later up the road, we're meeting Interstate 44, which is signed west for Tulsa. Sadly, Tulsa does not keep up, and we all know what 44 signed west out of the city is. And then 44 signed east for St. Louis, which is a good choice. Here are meeting Missouri Route 100 and the Lewis and Clark Trail, so that's pretty cool. And here are meeting Interstate 64, and 64 signed west for Wentzville. I don't know about that. And then 64 is signed east for St. Louis. We're still signed north for Kansas City and Chicago. But the thing is, I looked it up, and it's actually faster to take Interstate 64 west to Interstate 70 to get to Kansas City than it is actually to stay on 270 over to 70. So I believe that 64 west should actually be signed for Kansas City, while 270 keeps Chicago and then gets signed north for Alton, because it needs multiple highways that go to Alton, and Alton's a pretty sizable city in the St. Louis area. Here we're meeting Missouri Route 364, which is, I believe, a freeway into the city. And like I said last time, that 270 should be Alton and Chicago, please. And then here are meeting Interstate 70. And yes, I know Interstate 70 is the one that goes to Kansas City, but you can also, to differentiate from Interstate 64, you could do Columbia and Kansas City. The reason I say Columbia is on there is because it's actually a pretty sizable college town. It has 130,000 people, and that's where the University of Missouri is. And obviously keep Kansas City on there because Kansas City is like a huge city. Why would you omit it? Now we're meeting Missouri Route 370, which I believe was going to become Interstate 370, but here are meeting US 67, which is one of the many roads that take you over to Alton, Illinois, and we're still signed east for Chicago. Here's Interstate 170, which is signed south for Clayton, Missouri, and I believe takes you down to the St. Louis International Airport, and we're still signed east for Chicago. Here's our last exit on the Missouri side, which is exit 34. And after crossing over the Mississippi River, we are welcomed into Illinois. What's the chances of doing two videos where the O is missing on the Illinois sign? It's just very funny. Our first exit in Illinois is for Illinois Route 3, which is for Grand City and Alton. And we also meet Illinois 203, which is signed north for Granite City. And we get our first pull through here in Illinois, and now we're signed east for Indianapolis, which is awesome. But sadly, I-Dot likes the I-Dot, and we're actually signed east for Effingham, and 270 on the interstate is actually signed west for Kansas City, but here it's signed for St. Charles. So, another I-Dot situation. Here I'm meeting Interstate 255. I'm going to be transitioning from 270 to 255 and be heading in a south direction. And our first major exit on the 255 portion is Interstate 55 and Interstate 70, which is signed west for St. Louis and northeast for Chicago and Minneapolis, which are great choices. And on 55 and 70 itself, we're signed for... Why are they pulling an Interstate 24 here? You have enough room to make that Interstate 270 an actual 270 shield. You don't need to write it out. Do like Chicago or Alton or something instead of 270. And then Memphis is a great choice for southbound 255. And then if you decide to take that 55-70 exit and to get to the stadium, you would follow here to take 70 west for Kansas City. And after you cross over the Mississippi River, you'll be taking exit 249 for Tucker Boulevard in downtown St. Louis. And if you follow that ramp, you'll be needed with Tucker Boulevard, and then you stay straight on Tucker Boulevard. And here you turn onto Cole Street, and then it'll take you down to the stadium, and whichever teams you're rooting for, you can just wear their team jersey and hope they win. Again, I don't know who's going to be, at the time of this recording, I don't know who's going to be in it, but whichever teams make it, I hope the greater of them two wins. And here we head back onto Interstate 255, and we're now making Interstate 64. And US 50 is now going to be joining us, and we're now signed for Memphis and Tulsa. The reason I believe Tulsa is on there is for US Highway 50. And if you like baseball, here's a Frontier League baseball team here in the St. Louis suburbs on the Illinois side. Honestly, I've never heard of the Frontier League baseball. I've heard of minor league baseball and major league baseball, but never Frontier League baseball. That's pretty interesting. Here I'm in Illinois Highway 3 once again, and it's going to be joining us as we have a short currency with it. And it's signed north for the Great River Road and East St. Louis. Now that's where East St. Louis belongs, not on an interstate. Here's where Illinois 3 south are splitting off from us, and we're still signed south for Memphis and Tulsa. And then we cross over the Mississippi River once again, and we're now entering back into Missouri, where our exit numbers continue. And we're meeting Missouri 231 for Telegraph Road. And 2 miles up the road, we're now meeting US 50, US 61, and US 67. And Interstate 55, which is signed for St. Louis and Memphis. If they can sign it here on the St. Louis Beltway, why can't Memphis be held up all throughout the state of Missouri? Instead, we get Cape Girardeau. And here's the actual meeting with Interstate 55, and it's signed south for Memphis, which does not stay, like I said. And now we're signed for Kansas City and turning back into Interstate 270. So that ends the St. Louis Beltway, and we move on to, the places I'll go. So these are all the places that I'd visit if I ever was to come to St. Louis. So these are all the places that I'd visit. I'd visit the Gateway Arch and take a picture in front of it. And actually I'd like to visit Busch Stadium to go to a St. Louis Cardinals game. And then I'd like to actually go to one of the UFL games, or like a St. Louis TheDerpHog game. And I'd actually like to visit the prettier side of downtown St. Louis. And then I actually want to go to that Frontier League baseball team, the Gateway Grizzlies. And then the other attractions I like to visit in St. Louis itself. So that ends the St. Louis Beltway. Thank y'all so much for watching this short video on the St. Louis Beltway. Like I said, I don't know who's going to be in the championship, but if it turns out to be my team, the Birmingham Stallions, I hope they win it all. Or if it's some other team that you like, I hope they win it all too. So anyways, after the St. Louis Beltway, here are my next few highways I have planned for the summer. First I'll be doing US Highway 421, and then after that we're going to be doing some beach time fun in the Norfolk area by doing all of the Interstate 64 challenge. And then after that I'm going to be doing Interstate 540 if their brand new leg is open. If not, then I'm going to be doing a US 401 rebuild. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.